Boom. We are live. Baby live. Welcome to NCAA Net Profit. It's a Monday.
Okay.
How we doing? I'm Connor Mack. He's Maxwell Smart. Great basketball in the weekend. Let's touch on that real quick, Max. But let's touch on our Friday games just real quick before we get in today. And anything maybe you wanted to touch on the weekend real quick. How was your weekend? Anyways, by the way, college basketball.
Well, I guess I'm doing the opening to this
I'm right here.
because we don't have Connor Mack right now. Welcome in to the second week of Pub Sports Radio's
I'm here.
NCAA Net Profit with your boy Maxwell Smart and hopefully my guy Connor Mack. It was a great week. We had college basketball, and now we're ready for week 2. So let's get through these technical issues that I'm trying to keep my cool about, and let's get going with the show. It's a beautiful slate. If you're a mid-major aficionado, you're salivating at the mouth like when I walk into a cupcake store and see a fresh baked batch of 6 cupcakes ready for me to walk out with. Well, tonight is going to be great, and we're going to start off with a game. We're live, Connor.
Yeah, I'm here, right? You were saying I wasn't here. I think I'm here the whole time, right? Can you see me?
You weren't. Now I can see you.
Oh, okay. I thought everyone could see me. Yeah, roll with your shit. Keep going. I can see you. Everything's good.
We are going to go to Buffalo in North Texas. In Texas, I heard that they like steaks. You know what the North Texas Mean Green aren't going to be having tonight? Steaks. They're going to be eating hot dogs because Buffalo is coming in with that tempo, with that pace, with that offensive and defensive rebounding prowess, and they're going to fuck with their eyes open. We've seen this line go from as high as Buffalo as a 2.5-point favorite down to right now North Texas as a 1-point favorite. I'm definitely looking at getting on Buffalo because this is a matchup of stylistic differences. Okay. When we talk about a downhill team like Buffalo, this is a team that has the second highest rim rate in the country. And North Texas last year was very good at lane clogging. I don't think they're going to have the same success this year because they're replacing Javion Hamlet. They're replacing Simmons and freaking a whole bunch of other guys. So I just think that this is the time that Buffalo comes off that Michigan loss, played hard, played well. They're going to go in, dominate inside, not rely on the three. They're going to cash us a money line ticket. So give me some Buffalo money line plus 110.
Excellent. That was great. You could see me the whole time. I thought I was here. Maybe you couldn't, Max, but I'm glad everyone said that. I like this one. This wasn't one for me to bet on. It's style of different clashes. Up tempo with Buffalo. That defense, slow it down with North Texas. What did you think on this total, real quick, Max? What did you like? Did you have anything on the total?
If you like Buffalo, you like the over. If you like North Texas, you like the under.
You like the under.
That's what
Beautiful.
It is.
Well said. I was thinking the same thing. I stayed off this one because the style of clashes with these two teams. I love North Texas last year and what they did, but I love the tempo of Buffalo. I think they're the best team in the MAC. So I'm off this one. This one's nothing for me here. Let's get to your next one, brother.
All right, so we're going to move on to a big game and a game that isn't really stylistic sexy. You know, it's like going under the bridge and you look at the options that you have for a rough hand job from a lady of the night. You're like, I don't want to be here, but I need to be here. And that's how I feel about this Providence-Wisconsin game. It's an ugly goddamn game that I think that Nate Watson can absolutely feast against Wisconsin's untested front court. But with Wisconsin, you know, this is a very young team with an old player in Brad Davison. I think that with Brad Davison, this is a guy who's going to have his hands full against Durham and AJ Reeves. I think that the length of Providence backcourt is going to cause Wisconsin problems. And I think that they're very capable of slowing them down, just like I think Providence can slow down, just like I think Wisconsin can slow down Providence in certain areas. I think that Providence is going to be able to play a lot of inside basketball, a lot of trips to the free throw line, and it's going to be one of your classic rock fights. I'm taking the Big East team to go into Big Ten country, eat some cheese, and fuck with their eyes open all over Wisconsin's goddamn fucking carcass. So give me that shit. I'll take Providence +6.
+6, excellent. There's still 5s. You endorse it, everyone that can get a 5 right now?
Yes, I do.
Still at 5? Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. I'm off this game as well, but right away, when I looked at it, I went, Providence, give me the points in this one. They played better in that second half against Sacred Heart, which I was worried. That first game against Fairfield, they didn't do anything. They couldn't stop them. It was kind of tough. I had the under in that spot. I think you did too. But they looked better second half. Wisconsin, this is where I like them. At home, but they're right into that point spread of laying too many points. So I wrote this one off as well. My lean would be to Providence in this game, though, with the points. Let's get your next one.
All right, let's go to a game that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the Liberty fucking Flame. That pack line defense that Coach Richie McKay has employed and has fucked with his eyes open. And I'm telling you, that's a guy that wears glasses. So he needs to open his eyes when he's getting down with it. And I think that when you look at Liberty, they are your modern day freaking scalp taker, you know? They will freaking come in. You'll think that you have an easy game, and then they will freaking be the ones pulling off the top of your scalp at the end of it. And I think with a great team culture, and even better freaking defensive philosophy that doesn't allow transitions and doesn't allow second chance points with experienced front court players, I don't really think that their lack of athleticism is going to hinder them as much. I think that if you don't get Darius McGee going from the outside and allow him free range to shoot as many threes as he can put up, I think that's a losing formula. But the only issue I have with LSU in this spot is they did look really good against Texas State. I think that with Liberty, you have a much different quality of offense. If you can contain the pack line buster in Darius Days, I think that Liberty could knock off another big team and make it, I think, 8 scalps of high major teams that they've knocked off. So give me some Liberty. I don't like that I'm getting the worst of the number, but I still think that this is a very credible underdog money line spot. So give me Liberty +8. And I lean towards the money line, but I'm not going to make an official pick on it.
All right. Wow. Give me Liberty or give me death. I'm with you here. This is a lean for me as well. I didn't bet it. I wanted more points with Liberty. I thought 8 wasn't enough. I know this LSU team, they want to score. They don't play much defense, so Liberty's in it. I wanted like 11 double digits in the spot to pull the trigger, but I don't blame you. That's my side. I think they are not as athletic as LSU, but I think they're a solid team that's gritty. So my lean's there as well, Max. I love it, baby. I love it. Let's keep rolling.
All right, let's move into a game that is definitely for your mid-major aficionados, and I'm a mid-major aficionado, okay? Shout out to my guy, Nasty Nate. I am high. I'm happy as fuck. The college basketball's here, baby, and I'm ready to make that cake, serve up that cock soup, and hit on my bookie's girlfriend when she comes to deliver my goddamn money. So when I go to a game that involves an academy school versus a school that I don't even know what their deal is, maybe they're Baptist, I couldn't tell you. It's the Citadel and Presbyterian. Now, Citadel lost a lot. Caden Rice, Fletcher Abbey, these are guys that are important pieces that are no longer within the program. I think that it is definitely worth noting, but I'll say this. With Citadel, this is a group that has Jason Roche, a freshman, 6'4" stud that dropped 21-9 in his last game. And I think that this is a guy that's worked his way into the starting lineup through training camp and the summer season. And now him and Hayden Brown can provide a very nice 1-2 scoring punch. Hayden driving inside, Jason from the outside. And I think that these two kids, along with the style of play, the tempo that Citadel wants to play, it's all about Citadel. The number opened up at 1.5, flipped all the way to 3.5 for Presbyterian. And I just think that it's the wrong way that the line's going. So when the line goes left, I go right. I'm taking Citadel. Citadel is going to win this game. So I like Citadel. I like Citadel for full game +3, and then I also like the first half and full game over. But if you can't get less than 72 on the first half and less than 148 full game, then I would just lay off.
Excellent. This is my game as well. I'll touch on it when we get there because I'm almost up. But shout out to Arthur Mead. I got your games written down from the NCAA football show. I appreciate the $5 dono. Me and Max appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Everyone, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'll run through everyone. Remember, last 20 minutes, we're going to get through all your guys' games. Hit us with them all. Max will get through them. So will I. And we'll love it. Let's get to another one, Max.
Yeah, this is going to be my last game, and it's a game that if you love West Coast basketball, you love staying up late, it's a game for you, because it involves the Gonzaga Bulldogs, the baddest motherfucking basketball team that Division I has to offer. And when you're led by a guy named Drew Timme who shoots 70% inside the arc, 20 for 28 from the field so far this year, and then you got Chet Holmgren to go alongside, you have an unstoppable force. And I think that this Gonzaga team has all kinds of value against a very profitable Alcorn State ATS team. 3-0 on the year for Alcorn State. But I don't give a shit about that. I ain't taking full game. I'm looking for Gonzaga. I'm looking for them to dominate the first half, use that experienced guard play from Aurora, Ontario's Andrew Nemhard to get that offense going, get those points on the board, and build up that goddamn lead. Give me Gonzaga first half -21. Give me the first half over 72. And if you can get a first half team total under 45.5 or 45.5, lock me in on that as well. Looking for a big Gonzaga offensive performance.
Yeah, I think they roll. It's just a matter if you want to lay it with them. That's always kind of the question, right, Max? It's like the last few years, it's do you want to lay these points with them? Here I kind of do. I haven't pulled the trigger on it, but that'd be my only play in this game, especially when they're playing this bad at teams. It seems like these big numbers with Gonzaga, when you start I know they've even upped their team total, which that was the thing to get to, was their team total normally. But these numbers, it's just a basket or two. When they, it's like when you start to get to 36, because it seems like they beat them by those number 40. It's always right there. But I think they'd cover this number here. Did you want to run through a couple more, or do you want to get right over to mine?
Let's talk a couple more games. I was rather quick with mine today. Usually I am the rambler of the two of us. I'll say this, a friend of mine, a guy who taught me how to bet unders, a guy from Long Beach that goes by the name of Noli Knows. We were talking and we're conversing about unders and our favorite things, which are unders. And Cal Poly and Sacramento State came up in conversation. This is a total that opened at 136.5, went down to 134.5, and then got steamed all the way up to 139 or 138.5. So I'm not understanding why Cal Poly and Sacramento State are getting this offensive respect. I think that with Sacramento State, it is important to remember that Deshaun Heiler is going to be missing, and the Sacramento State high post motion offense that runs through Bryce Fowler is going to have to run through freaking Ali Karoma, who's one of the most versatile athletic bigs that the Big West has to offer this year. So I'm not really going to take in a lot of Cal Poly's win against North Dakota State just because they were missing Sam Greisel, but I have to look at the under the elevated number. I'll take the extra value. I'll fade the line movement. And I think that Sacramento State definitely has a shot to win the game outright. I think Cal Poly will revert back to who Cal Poly is. And I'm not ready to crown them a up-and-comer just yet.
Excellent. Max, real quick, what did you think on the side in that game? Would you lean Cal Poly? the minus
No,
5, or what were you thinking?
I would lean with the dog, with the plus
Okay.
5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All righty, hit me with another one if you got one. I can get in mind.
Yeah, I always got another game, Connor. I'm a volume player. I'm fucking with my eyes open from.
You're the man of the people. You are.
Damn
I love
straight.
it. Go, brother.
I think that Weber State is going to be a real interesting road spot tonight. I think that when you look at a team that's structured around running teams off the 3-point line and really not giving that help on a penetrating freaking drive to the bucket, I think that it could be hazardous to your health against this Duquesne team. I think that with Duquesne, this is a team that's usually very heavy on the 3 ball, but with the personnel that they have, I don't really know if that's going to be the case. I think that with Weber, this is a ball screen team with a bunch of different guys that they can use in that situation. They brought in Kobe McEwen from Marquette. They brought in James Overton from Utah Valley. And I think that Duquesne's backcourt, while it's young and talented, it doesn't have the chemistry and continuity. And I think that that's going to end up playing a fact. I think that as long as Weber State can overcome the missing personnel of like Dante Bassett and not let Trey Williams beat them, I think that Weber State can go into Duquesne and beat them on their home floor where they've been very profitable. So,
all right. I like it. That was when I stayed off, but Weber State for me was the side. I got to see more of Duquesne a little bit. I have a little questions of them, so I get a little bit of that game. I can get mine if you're ready, or you want to roll a few more. I have questions for you too.
No, it's our time, bro. It's our time.
Let's go. I'll go because I have 3 or 4 questions on games I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. The first one, I'm with you on this side. This is a Citadel Presbyterian game. You talked about it. I was shocked. I know Presbyterian had the line moved from 1 through 0 all the way to 4, and the Blue Hose, my Blue Hose, baby. I loved them last year. They came through as a dog, but now they're a favorite. Even when they've been a favorite before, they haven't covered in certain spots. Really close games they play. Citadel's got that offense. I think they played them last year and put 90 on them. I have to double check that, but I remember that game. So I love the points here. This now has gone down to 2.5, 2. That's about the limit. I mean, I still like this game as a pick 'em. I think Citadel just has that better offense. I think people are too overhyped on Presbyterian. What they done, they lost by 11 to Clemson. They've had a couple, good games early on. But I got to back Citadel, the better scoring team here, and dump the Blue Hose in this one early.
I like it. Let's ride it. Let's cash it. Listen, if you're capping the capper and Connor and I are on a play together, I think it's going to be good. So let's rock with it.
I agree. I think it's an interesting little spot. I was shocked of the line movement that far to Presbyterian today, but you got to take what they give you, and I think they're a little bit of the better team. I love how they beat up on Pittsburgh. It is a shitty Pittsburgh team, but still, Pitt, still a pretty good basketball school. Let's get to my second game here. This is one I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I've been a Belmont fan. We got Furman Belmont, the line 6, total 151. I got to lean with Furman here, and I've been a huge Belmont fan. 6.5. There's still a 7 at FanDuel. I don't care. Give me the 6.5 with Furman. This is a gritty basketball team that at times can shoot it really, really well. They already beat Louisville. What was that, 80-72 just last week? I think it's too many points. Even if Belmont wins, which is a really good basketball team as well, I don't think they win by more than 7. So if I take the 6.5 and run here, I think Furman, the Paladins, get it done. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I like Furman in this spot as well, Connor, just because with Furman, this is a team that obviously is coming into a situational letdown spot, but they can also present some of the same issues that Belmont have with Ohio in this game tonight. I think that also there is some question marks with personnel on the Belmont side with Jacoby Wood and Caleb Hollander being, I guess, injured or not with the team for some reason. I don't think that Furman's transition defense is going to be a real wart on their game tonight. I think that if they can get back, I think that they take away a lot of Belmont's ability to get those interior passes, get those quick those quick looks inside to Moose and company. But I'll take the points with the dog. I think that even though it is a situational Belmont spot, I'm going against the situation.
Someone's asking in the chat, Steve, just real quick, save your questions for just keep them coming. I'll scroll back. But the total in this game, I had nothing. I'd lean over, but it's really high at 151. Did you have anything on the total here, Max?
No, nothing worth passing along.
Okay, let's get to my next one. This is a team. We got it here. Texas Southern versus Washington. Spreads 8.5. Totals 145.5. This Washington team with Mike Hopkins is in peril. This team has not played well at all. 6'7" Matthews had 20 points. Some of these teams are good. Terrell Brown could score 16. I think you shut that down. One thing, Texas Southern has played a shitload of good teams. They play Oregon. They have one of the roughest schedules in NCAA basketball here. I think 8 points is not enough. The big thing I am here, though, I think this game as Washington's played, they're slow. They're not very good scoring. As much as I love the 8.5, I don't know if I'm going to double up here. I wanted over 10 for Texas Southern, but I like the 145.5. I thought that was too many in this spot. Can Texas Southern really make that many threes? Washington is showing us they're not that good of a scoring team. This team scored, I don't know, maybe 70 against Northern Arizona. That's a really bad defense. I love the under 145.5, and I might pull the trigger on the 8.5. I haven't done it. This game's later on tonight, but I'm looking at that. What do you think, Max? The under 145 here, Texas Southern, Washington.
Yeah, there's no way that I'm laying points, even though this is the better talented team in Washington. The fact is, when you're shooting 25% from three and 32% from the field, and then 63% from the free throw line, those are just numbers I will not lay points with. It's just not a profitable endeavor long term. So I agree. I'm on Washington first half, full game under, and I'll be fucking my eyes open with the Washington Huskies.
All right. I like the under there. I think we're good. Let's get to the last one. Another out west game. These are kind of the teams that I love to bet on. Late night West Coast action here. And this is San Jose State. Get plus 20 against Stanford. It's down to 19 now, even 18.5. I still like it. I think if you can get 18 and above, you're okay here. San Jose State, this is a team that was horrible, dreadful. We talked about it the last few years. They really have played well at the end of the year. They covered a lot of games. Their offense was better. And game one, they were dogs at home and won outright over Fullerton, 78-76. I think they come to play here. Stanford's in shambles. We want to talk about another Pac-12 team that's really, really bad. They beat Tarleton State 62-50. They don't shoot the ball well. And then they got their ass whipped, 88-72 against Santa Clara. I wish I was on that game. Santa Clara game. I wasn't. I don't see much even there at home here. Give me the almost 20, the 19 now. I got 20, but give me the 19 now with San Jose State. Stanford's still the better team, and I'm sure as the year goes on, they get better, but not here. I'm going to take the 20 with the dog in San Jose State. What do you like here, Max?
Yeah, Connor, I agree with you on this game, and I'm also wearing my Stanford Cardinals shirt.
I know.
Fuck Stanford. They cost me some money the other night on their total against Santa Clara. And I'm telling you right now, when I watch the San Jose State team, they got threes for fucking days. This is a team that's going to be good offensively, and they're going to push the tempo way drastically different than I was projecting. So I had to make some adjustments to my numbers on San Jose State. But if they drop 10 threes in this game, they're staying within the number. They could fucking outright upset.
I love it. And like I talked about, San Jose State, 6-3 its last 9. You know, on the dog. Stanford 0-5. They've been horrible at home. Just all bad at the end of the year last year. And I think they're very good to start the year. Too many there. That was my last game. All I have is leans, and I want to get to these games, and we're going to get to all your guys' questions in just a second. These were some top games I want to talk with Max with real quick. Coppin State versus NC Greensboro. Coppin State's horrible. I want to lay the 17.5. What do you think here, Max?
Yeah, I'm already on Coppin State first half plus 10.5. This is a spot
Okay.
that I also took the over 139.5 on the opener. It's a spot where I just think that Coppin State is playing a lot of games in a lot of days, but not as many as Prairie View A&M. I think with Coppin State, they do try and push that tempo from the get-go, so I don't really see Greensboro slowing them down as much. I think it's going to be important for Greensboro to contribute to the scoring, and that's going to fall on DeMonte Buckingham. The Cal State Bakersfield transfer, formerly of Richmond, is ready for his last year of basketball. And the way that he led this team and put them on his back against North Carolina A&T was inspiring. I look for a similar outlier performance tonight, where I think that Greensboro is going to be able to get theirs and have a good time scoring. I just think that when you look at some of these guys for Coppin State, I just think that there's too many potential weapons. So Coppin is going to stay in this game, and I think the game's going over.
Yeah, I wanted to just talk to you about that because, you know, NC Greensboro, I like this basketball team, but laying that many points, cover that number, that's why I'm a little hesitant. I'm hesitant laying points like that anyways. I know how, Coppin State's not a very good basketball team, but huge number, NC Greensboro. Let's get the next one I wanted to chat about. A team you like, Navy here against Louisville, 16-point spread. What do you think in this game? I lean Navy with the 16. It just wasn't my favorite look, looking through the card, but I thought the points were valuable here. What do you think Navy can do against Louisville?
Listen, I think that this is a game that if Navy's going to be in, it's not going to be a high scoring game. I think with Navy,
True.
they need John Carter Jr. to really step up. His 3-point shooting has been, I guess, okay, less than desirable. And I just think that with so many junior and senior upperclassmen on this team, you can literally go 9-man deep and you have quality all throughout. You're going to need Sean Yoder. You're going to need guys like Jalen Walker to really step up. But if Richard Njoku, Tyler Nelson, Greg Summers don't show up tonight, then they got no chance. I think that Navy is a team that definitely has to focus on getting to the free throw line and scoring inside the arc and not becoming 3-point reliant. If they can follow that kind of offensive game plan, I think that they can stick with Louisville. You have to be worried that a mad Louisville team is going to show up, but they just haven't been able to incorporate Jared West and get his 3-point shooting going. And I think that's a really important piece of this offense going forward.
Okay, this is kind of a big one. I love the points here as well. It'll be interesting. This team hasn't looked good early. We're ranked team, top 20 team. Bowling Green, one of the better teams I like in the MAC, versus Ohio State, 16.5, totals 145. You like anything in this spot, Max?
Yeah, this is a spot where initially I did like Bowling Green first half, but obviously I dug in, did my research, and I found out that Caleb Fields and Caden Matheny may not be playing in this game. And that takes away experience. That takes away some of Daquan Plowden's favorite options to pass the ball to. And as a 6'6" point forward who can guard 2 through 5 and give you anything that you need within the game, I think that's going to be sorely missed. I do like the addition of Joe Reese, but you're going to be relying on your transfer guards to come in and give you some minutes. And what neither of them were able to do was lock anything down from the 3-point line. I think that the way that I'm looking at this game, I like Bowling Green first half plus 9.5. I like the under in the first half, and then I'm going to go from there because we know that Kyle Young won't be playing. We know that Seth Towns won't be playing, and I just don't trust Michi Johnson of Ohio State to really get this offense going. So unless EJ Liddell and Justice Swing have really big games, I think that Bowling Green can hang around.
I think they can too. I mean, obviously, Bowling Green lost their top scorer. They're a pretty deep team bringing back, but you talked about the few injuries there. That one's interesting to me. I lean with the points, so that one was.
I would even say, Connor, look out for Josiah Fulker because this is a kid that could freaking come out of nowhere. Sophomore, 6'3" combo guard. He can ball, and he's working his way into the hearts of the coaching staff and Coach Huger.
I love it. This is one. Last one I'll get, and I'm sure the guys have tons of games too. San Diego, plus 3.5 versus Cal. What do you like in this game, Max? Cal has not looked very good. What do you like here?
I just wonder what San Diego has in store for us. I don't know who this Terrell Brown is, but where the fuck was he at Pittsburgh?
Hey now, where you been, brother? I know. I was thinking the same thing.
This guy's a serious freaking rim protector now with that block rate. He's like top 5 in the nation right now. Obviously, it's just a tiny sample size, but you just get inspired when a San Diego team goes into Nevada, gives freaking AJ Brahma a concussion, and then beats them as a 16.5-point underdog. So I just think that this is a situation where you're going up against a way less potent offense, a team that, let's be honest, Jordan Shepard's the only one who can create off the ball for himself. And that means that you got to trot out a really big lineup. So I just think that it's going to really allow San Diego to exploit them on the perimeter. And as long as Cal doesn't turn the ball over a lot, I think it's going to remain a close game. If you were to take my money, I'd take San Diego on the money line and roll with the second upset in a row. So I like the Toros, and that's hard for me to say.
So do I. My only was the points there. I wish it was a little bit more. The inexperience, like Cal, the questions, are they really this bad looking this early? Another Pac-12 team not look good. We talked about Washington and a few other, Stanford. Are they this bad, and can you take advantage of it? I wanted more points, but that was my side. It was the Toros there, plus 3.5. Okay, that's it for what I look at right here. Start giving me all your questions. I know you guys already have, but let's hit an ad from our sponsors. Let's get these out of the way before we run through our questions. Let's get it. Hit it. There we go. Shout out to our sponsors. If you're in the San Antonio area, go to Southtown 101. Get there, karaoke, booze, food, all that fun shit. Get down there, have a blast. Great bar, Southtown 101. Keep your nuts shaved. Keep them clean. No one likes the bush down there. Manscaped.com, 20% promo code PubSports. Get it, shave it, keep it clean. Let's get to these games. I got to hit our guy, Arthur, gave me the dono on the football show, wanting these two games hit first. And then I'll get to the rest of you guys. And shout out to everyone in the chat. We love the support. Keep rolling with us. Keep subscribing. Hit the retweet. We really, really appreciate it. Max and I do. Oregon State, Tulsa. Oregon State, -2.5. Totals 131. Hit it, Max.
Yeah, you're going to have to repeat yourself, Connor, because I just had a blonde moment. Your words literally went here.
Yeah, brother. All good? All good. Sorry, sometimes I do it.
What game are we talking about here?
Oh, you heard me the second time. Oh, shit. Oregon State, -2.5. Tulsa, 131. Okay.
Yeah, I think that with Oregon State, this has so far been a little bit of an under team with a little more question marks of where they're going to get their offense. I think that if you get good performances out of Maurice Kalu and Jared Lucas, you can survive, but this is a team that is going to stop you from getting to the rim. There's lots of size still remaining on this Beaver roster, and Tulsa's going to have to bring some three-point shooting if they want to have some success tonight. I think being at home definitely plays into their hand, and the fact that Tulsa can really go up and down and play fast or slow is going to help them. I did say that the addition of Sam Griffin was going to pay dividends, and so far it has. Him and Jariah Horn are combined 12 for 25 from 3. That is fucking dangerous, and that is why I like Tulsa in this spot. If this was on the road, I'd be looking at it a little differently. But I think that when you look at the fact that these two new acquisitions are going to play a lot of minutes for you, and they can play without fouling and play with fouls, it just fucking boosts the spot that much more. It's a Tulsa money line spot for me.
Wow, I love that breakdown. I like Oregon State. They're not going to be, I think, that unbelievable run last year. A lot of people rode them, the money, but I think you might be right here. This one was difficult for me to get to the window, but I love your saying Tulsa here at home. Take them. It makes me want to back them here. Let's get to Robert Morris versus Ohio. This is down. Robert Morris is about a plus 13. The total's 144.5. Hit me with it, Max. What do you like in this ballgame?
Yeah, I liked Robert Morris full game on the opener. Obviously, that's gone now. And I think that with Coach Toole, he's got a very nice tool case or toolkit or toolbox. That's the right word for this basketball team. First off, there's so much size and positionless basketball that they can run out. They have quality freaking swingmen and Justin Winston and Jaron Williams. They just got to get the shooting together because so far through the season, they're combined 3 for 16 from 3, and that's just not going to cut it. I think that when you look at Robert Morris, they need to get to the free throw line. They need to penetrate the paint and use the skill that Rasheed Dunn and Michael Green have to get inside and get to the free throw line. Dunn has been your typical floor general to start the season. And after a 40-point onslaught that they suffered at the hands of the Kentucky Wildcat, I expect them to have a bit of a better game. I just don't like them at 13 or 13.5. I think that the value is really teasing down Ohio. Ohio is going to be probably the best team in the MAC this year. Mark Sears is for real. He's a serious ball screen point guard. We saw him do it to Belmont. I think that we're going to see it at home tonight. This could be a route spot, but I just think that taking Ohio and using them in a two team 5-point teaser is just way more sexy to me. It's a sexy lady of the night, not a rough-handed lady of the night under a bridge.
Yes, I was going to say that was the sexiest thing I've heard about a teaser. If you say a teaser like that, Max, you just made teasers unbelievable again.
I want to make teasers great again. I want to.
I love it.
I want to.
I love it. Let's get to the questions. Shout out to everyone again in the chat. Let's get through it. I love this part of the show with Max. He's a college basketball encyclopedia. Use this man's brain. Ask him about anything we haven't touched on. And at the end, we'll touch on our games just one last time, our bets, and we'll get out of here. Let's get to Roland G. Long Beach State, plus 26.5. Do they have a shot to cover this number tonight?
I just don't like Long Beach's guard play. I think that's going to be the problem. But if UCLA wants to lock a team down defensively, we know what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to fucking put Johnny Juzang on the bench because he's great for 18.5 points a game, but he's also a major defensive liability. And if you watch the Villanova game, you saw a perfect example of that. The one thing that I like about Long Beach is the fact that Junior Joel Murray has been very good inside, very fucking sneaky, using those ball screens with all the size that Long Beach has to put out there. I just don't know, I just don't know about them covering, staying within that type of number. It's going to be up to UCLA. I don't know if Long Beach can press Tiger Campbell into making some mistakes, but this is a spot where I got to look at the under or I got to pass. Nothing on the side.
Okay. Right now, the full game under, you could get 147.5 at most spots. Next one. This is kind of one I was on the radar. Nathan Cerna, at least for me. Thane Cookman versus Utah. 30-point spread here, 30.5. Do you have anything on this game real quick, man?
I think that if you're going to look to get on Utah, you look at team totals in this game. I think that this could be more reminiscent of their game against Abilene Christian rather than their game against Sacramento State. I think that with this Utah team, it's just going to be important for them to take good shots inside the arc, use their skill in passing big men to get easier looks at the bucket. I think when it comes down to it, Bethune-Cookman just has so many moving parts at this point. I'm just not content putting my money on them going into a very hostile, hard to play environment in Utah. With KJ Davis and Jacoby Long, they need to provide scoring support to Joe French. If they can't do that, Joe French is doing everything on his own, and Joe French shoots 42% from the 3-point line. Bethune-Cookman as a team shoots 22%. So you're seeing the major difference and the flaw in their freaking team philosophy right there. They don't have supporting cast playing up to par. If you can get some good minutes from guys like Collins Joseph and Dylan Robertson, maybe you can have a little more success, but I'm not giving Bethune-Cookman a chance here. I would be taking Utah first half. I'd be looking at Utah team totals, and I think that full game under has to play into it somehow, because what do we have with routes? Unders.
Very true. Very true. This is the next one. I think this team's warranted to be favored here. We got a Marquette team in a little bit of transfer in trouble. It's Illinois -8, some 8.5. Total's 147.5. I thought this total, it's moved up, but maybe this has moved up a little too much. What do you think here? Illinois versus Marquette, Max?
Well, so far, Marquette has been an over team, which has been surprising. True. I think that Tyler Kolek, the George Mason transfer, is going to play a really important role in this matchup. And if they want to stay with Illinois, who is going to be missing Kofi Coburn and Austin Hutcherson, this is the opportunity. I personally do not have a play on this game. I do have a friend, a fucking dynamite capper from the Pub Sports Radio Discord, freaking Tone. He's all over Illinois money line, and I believe it's Illinois money line and the under 147.5 same game parlay plus 119. So if you're looking to get in on that game, I don't have any action personally right now, but I probably will tell Tone because he makes money for me, and I like that.
You know what? I'm staying off this game, but I think Illinois is that better. Even with Kobe still not back, he won't be back for another game. I think they cover this 8 here. But Marquette's solid basketball team. Haven't looked good early. Interesting game there. Let's get to some others. What do you think of the over 138 in the Stanford game? We kind of touched on that. You like the over there?
Yeah, absolutely. I got burned on the Stanford Santa Clara under. I will never forgive the Cardinal for that. And Harrison Ingram may be the fucking freshman of the week in the Pac-12, averaging 16 and 7.5. But San Jose State is coming for some candy. They're going to eat Harrison's candy. Harrison's going to sit in the corner and cry. So give me that over. I like it. How
about this one? I like this game. Another late night one that I'm going to discuss a little bit more maybe with Max. But give me your insights real quick. You see Santa Barbara, Gauchos versus Washington State. 8 point is the spread, 135.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is a spot where I'm very concerned and interested to see what Santa Barbara's backcourt can do offensively. Obviously, against San Francisco State, we can't really take too much into that because San Francisco State, I thought, gave all their best players over to Seattle. But I just think that you're going to need Josh Pierre-Louis, you're going to need Calvin Wishart, and you need a Jari Sani to really give you some offense, because outside of that, you're going to be relying on Amadou Sow. You're going to be throwing it down there a lot more often. And I just think that with a team like Santa Barbara that we've gotten so used to having dynamite backcourt production and veteran leadership every year, Josh Pierre-Louis and Calvin Wishart have big shoes to fill. I think that Pierre-Louis is the most important. This is a guy that needs to do better at the free throw line, even though he's dynamite at getting to the free throw line. And when you have rebounding guards like I believe Santa Barbara has, they're always going to be in a game to the very end. They're going to give they may possibly give Washington State's undersized experienced backcourt problems tonight. And then when you look at Washington State's inexperienced front court, how do they handle Sal? And I just don't think that they're going to be able to. So I would lean with the points, and I would lean towards the under. So.
All righty, let's get to some other ones here. We can start ripping them. Let's get to Montana, North Dakota, under 139. This is from Kevin Riley here.
Yeah, I agree with the under. I also liked it better on the opener at 143.5. I still think at 139 or 139.5, you're in a good position. I lined the game about 5 points less than the line is presently. And I just think that when you look at this Montana team, 3-point defense is going to be key. That's what did them in against Mississippi State, and they're going to have to clean that up. Otherwise, they're going to have some problems. I think that when you look at them from a personnel perspective, they do have some very intriguing pieces, whether it be Brandon Whitney, Cam Parker, the assist magician, or Josh Vasquez, the fucking tequila shotter. So I just think that this Montana team is going to find their way against certain quality of opponent. And in this situation, I just think that North Dakota is going to have problems scoring against them. And I think that it's a great game to fucking bet an under. So if this game lands at 135 or higher, I'll be surprised.
All right. This one was interesting for me, Max. This was open. I just didn't feel comfortable pulling the trigger because I'm not high on Pepperdine. This open, as Taylor's right in the chat, 6. It's now 3.5. Utah Valley State versus Pepperdine here. Pepperdine -3, 3.5. Hit me with it.
Yeah, I actually seen this at 6.5 and 7 last night.
Did you?
And
yeah, I saw 6. Okay.
So I got on this first thing. I was like, okay, Trey Woodbury and Fairdahl Meek versus Pepperdine. Pepperdine's going to have to bring double teams in the front court to enable to stop them. And then I just don't trust this team to make threes. They're shooting 25%. They're shooting 64% from the free throw line. They don't have Braun Hartfield anymore. And they're really just trying to find themselves. You would have thought that Jade Smith would be able to give you more production than he's doing, but you know what? He needs help. The guy's fucking getting to the free throw line a little bit, shooting 43% from the field. I just don't know where that production loss from Colby Ross and Kessler Edwards and now Braun Hartfield are going to come from. So until then, I'm just going to ride with Utah Valley. I think that Mark Madsen brings his guys ready to play, and they got a deep team this year. So just like a lot of other programs, there's a lot of options for these coaches to go to, and I think that Utah Valley surprises us and goes in and beats Pepperdine in Malibu and then enjoys a nice mojito.
I like it. I'm a little pissed. Sometimes I'm thinking, you dumbass, Max is on this. Like, I should have took the 6 last night because that's, when I zero in on some of these games that I think he'll be on. I kind of kicked myself and I missed out. But I want to watch that one for sure. This is one that glanced my mind. Give me a little bit on this one, the Northern Florida versus Arizona State matchup here.
Yeah, this is a spot where I bet at a higher number and then bet again and then gave out a Twitter play on it. I think that this is an under situation. What have we seen from North Florida? North Florida definitely is still the same offensive team that they were. They're trying to improve defensively, and I tip my hat to them. I just think that with Arizona State, we don't know what the health of Jay Heath is going to be. We don't know what the health of this roster is and who's going to be out there and available. And if that's the case, I definitely want to be looking towards a lower scoring game, a little more slow tempo, limit some of these possessions and limit the blemishes that North Florida may be able to put on you. They've been challenged, and this is a situation that we've seen Arizona State past basketball programs fall flat on their face in. So I like the under, and if you were to give me a free play, I'd take the points with the dog.
I was going to say the same thing. Give me the under here. This was one I had circled that I was going to look to. It's a later game, and if I had a free play, I'd take the points. This is right on there, Max. Let's get to Maine versus Colorado. Colorado at home laying a huge number, -24. Totals 132. What do you like here?
Yeah, I'm in this spot 3 ways. This was one of the first games I bet last night. I took the under 133.5. I took the under 63 first half this morning, and I'm taking Colorado. Colorado's look bad. They're 0-2 ATS. They don't have a true point guard, but they got a super Canadian in Keyshawn Bartholomew, and Keyshawn is going to fuck with his eyes open all over a BBW tonight. And he likes BBW.
I love it.
He likes it.
I love it. He's a super Canadian. Never heard that before. Canadian. Love it. Super Canadian. I like it. If I hear a Canadian.
And he's not stealing water and bringing it to America. I'll tell you that. He's not stealing water like those Californians, okay?
I love it. I love it.
I'll tell you, Connor, this Colorado team, this is Route Spot City. You know, you got a very inefficient main team that is going to struggle to score points. They are going to struggle to get threes. And I just think that Colorado, you know, you've almost lost to New Mexico. You almost lost to Montana State. When are we going to see one of those signature Tad Boyle home offensive performances? I hope tonight is the night.
Yeah, we're going to see just a domination because they're so good on that home floor, you know, over the last few years. They're so good. I'm going to shoot one at you. Shoot a few more questions. We got about 5 more minutes. I want you to touch on this one. Bryant Clemson here. It's open 13. It's down to 11.5. The total 144 and a half. You like anything in the spot, Max?
Yeah, I'm on Bryant. I'm a very big NEC conference guy. I love Bryant basketball. Jared Grasso's a fantastic coach, but the key for this game tonight is getting Peter Kiss back. If Peter Kiss makes his return to the lineup, then you have your trio of guys locked up. And when you have Peter Kiss, when you have Charles Pride, when you have Chris Childs, you have a fucking team that can go up tempo off a made bucket, make a three or go to the rim, and then they can drop back on defense and get into a fucking 2-3 zone and make you fucking beat them with a jump shot over them. I love how Bryant plays. I love their philosophy. And if their roster is connected and has all the available weapons, I think that they can beat Clemson. I thought that about Rhode Island, but in the second half, Rhode Island's front court presented a lot of deterrence that I just don't think Clemson's going to be able to tonight. They do have a sophomore that is probably going to be a breakout player for them. But as far as making Alameda Dawes, Nick Honor, and Hunter Tyson beat you from the 3-point line, I think that Bryant can go 3-point for 3-point with them. So I like the points with the double-digit dog once again.
Let's get to it here. This one was one to check on. Manhattan, Old Dominion. Old Dominion's 8-point favorites. I didn't have too much on this. I would need more points with Manhattan in this spot, but total 126.5. Did you have anything here, Max?
Yeah, I'm on the under 126.5. I'm on Manhattan plus 9.5, but I'm having buyer's remorse on the side. At the end of the day, Manhattan was able to come back against Fordham at home. Do I trust their guard play enough to go into a hostile environment in ODU who's coming off a bad loss to not want to get right? So I understand why the line is where it's at. I just think that there's an opportunity for a nice spot for Manhattan to climb out of their shell. Not enough that I'm going to tell you guys to go fucking bet your money on, but I'm a volume player. If I lose a game, it's okay. If I lose 25 games, then it's a problem.
Hell yeah. No shit. I love that. This is the last one I'm going to touch on. Hit a few. There's only a few more games. Try to get those in if we have enough time. But Missouri, this team's lost a bunch of guys, transfer, a whole different squad kind of, laying 11.5 against the Roos. You know, Missouri, Kansas City. They hung with Minnesota early, then didn't. That line moved that first game from 9 to about 6. What do you think here, Missouri laying 11.5? This one was interesting to me. Do you have anything here?
I wanted to take UMKC, but they really left a sour taste in my mouth after the Minnesota game. I think that with the total, that's what I was more attracted to. With UMKC, I watched tons of Summit League games on their streaming service last year where the games finished at 120, 124, win or lose. So I think that Missouri, who definitely has played some slow tempo basketball in the past, could get suckered into a regional rock fight tonight, and I'm hoping so.
All right, let's get to this one here. The Rebels, North Dakota State, UNLV. This total has crashed down. UNLV's played some 2 unders. I was on that first one, Gardner Webb, and Eileen, the second one they had there with Cal. But what do you like here? Total's all the way down to 128.5, and UNLV's favored by 4. Do you like anything in the spot, Max?
I still like the under because with UNLV, while they do have a lot of talent on paper with Michael Nuga and Bryce Hamilton, you know, they're gonna need some front court production to really step up and in. And I think that with North Dakota State, you know, we are expecting them to come out a little better after losing Sam Greisel, and that really caused them to lose a goddamn basketball game. I just think that when you have that combination of big men with Rocky Cruiser and then what the fuck is his goddamn name? Sorry, 6'10" sophomore Grant Nelson. Okay, so when you got two towers like that and you play in the Summit League, you know, you're gonna freaking deter some drivers. And I think that's what UNLV is gonna have to overcome tonight, dealing with those two big men on the floor at the same time. I definitely don't like backing teams without their point guard or without a true point guard there. But the under and taking the points with North Dakota State is the way I'm going to have to go.
Excellent. This one, good one. Southern Miss, TCU. TCU minus 14.5. Totals 134.5. What do you like here, Max?
Yeah, with TCU, it's an interesting situation because they're incorporating a whole bunch of new pieces and really trying to shake out this rotation. I love like their team.
You're cutting out a little bit.
First half of the game.
You guys hear me? I think Max, bounce it back in.
Bounce him out, just go solo.
Yeah, bounce him in though. I mean, it only usually takes a second. That's it there with that. Let's get to this next game. Penn State, UMass. He should be able to come back. I had nothing on this spot. I don't know. I think UMass isn't very good. This is one of the least games I liked on the board. I think Penn State's a lot better. I didn't want to lay 4. It was a lean to me. So this one was just a lean. So I think that's about it. We were about to end anyways. We only had 2 minutes. Shoot me a question real quick. See if we can get back Max. We only got 2 minutes left in the show. But I'm going to run over my best bets before we try to get Max back. Let's go over mine here real quick. Oh, he's back. Did you have anything real quick before we get to our games, Max? Penn State, UMass. Penn State minus 4.
Yeah, I would take the dog with UMass, but I'm not going to bet it as of yet. Sorry for the technical issues, guys.
No problem, my guy. Let me hit my games real quick, and I'll get Max to his games, and we'll get on out of here. Citadel, I got 3.5. I still think you're fine. This has come back the other way. Wild line movement today, right, Max, in this game? Crazy. Yeah, crazy. Sunderland Citadel, 3.5. I still, at 2.5, I think you're fine as well in that game. Furman, plus 6.5. Belmont. I just think Furman's good enough to stay in this game. I mean, they could win it outright. I like Belmont. I love this team, but I just don't think they are at home, could win by 7. Give me Furman there. This is one I'm going to wait to the double up. I will tweet it out if I'm on the side. Texas Southern, Washington. I'm on the under 145.5, and I'm leaning to taking the 8.5 with Texas Southern. And my last one for today was San Jose State plus 20. Someone wrote in the chat, I 18.5 was about the line. I like, 18, right in that range. Nothing lower than that. I just don't like Stanford. Shouldn't be laying this points like this until I see any life out of them. I think they get better as the year gets on. They're not this bad of a basketball team, but 20 points. San Jose, I loved them at the end of last year. I saw a little bit of value, and I think they can score against Stanford just a bit in this game. I mean, they gave up 88, Max. 88. They gave up 60 at Tarleton. It's not very good. Or, sorry, that was the 50. It was 62-50. We were on that under. But I think they can score here and hang within 20. 20 is just too much. So give me San Jose State. And those are all mine. I have a few other games we talked about were leans. I'm going to get to them. And if I play them, I will tweet them out. Get to yours, Max. Let's get on out of here.
Yep. I'm on Buffalo Moneyline plus 110. I'm on Providence plus 6. I'm on Citadel full game plus 3. And I'm on first half over 69. Full game over 140. 44. Don't go higher than 147. Don't go higher than 72. I'm on Gonzaga. First half minus 21. First half over 72. First half team total over 45.5. And to cap it off, Liberty plus 8. Lean towards the money line.
I love it. I've got it all down here. Sorry for a little bit of technical difficulties. It shouldn't much happen anymore here. We're good. We got through it.
Show, man. We're working through everything.
We're working it. We're all right. We're always running here at Pub Sports Radio because we be pubbing all day and all night, and we're going to have a huge night tonight. I'm Connor Max. He's the great Maxwell Smart. Catch us next time, baby, because we be pubbing!